Alright, so today I'm going to be doing a Battlefield 4 Assault Rifles tier list. Assault is my favorite class in Battlefield 4. I play a lot with the Assault Rifles, so I feel like I have the best understanding of this specific weapon set in the game. So the Ace 23, the Ace 23 is pretty good. It's got large magazine, fairly decent fire rate, fairly accurate. Um, I really like it. Some people say it's probably the best mid-range rifle in the game. I would give it an S tier. AEK 971. So the AEK 971, I used to use a lot starting out, and I always use it when I'm playing against a bunch of sweats because they're using it as well. Extremely high rate of fire, absolute cheese shredder. Um, I would have to put it in the God tier. The AK-12, the starter rifle in the assault rifles class, it's pretty mid, as most starter weapons are, so I'll give it a C tier. AN-94, I never really liked the AN-94. Some people like to use it. It's one of the least used rifles in the class for me. Some people are good with it. I'm just not really a big fan. I'll put it in C tier. AR-160. AR-160 is probably the best laser rifle in the game, as in it doesn't shoot lasers, but it can absolutely laser enemies. It's a flat shooter. I personally really like it a lot, but obviously it's not as good up at close range, so I'll put it in A tier. The AUG A3. The AUG A3 is kind of similar to the M416 with its mid-range stats, except that it's a bullpup, so it has a slower reload, but I think it has a better recoil impulse. I like to use it a lot. It's pretty fun to use, just because the AUG is such an iconic weapon, so A tier. Bulldog. I'm not really a big fan of the Bulldog because of its high recoil, slow reload, and small magazine, but it's probably the heaviest hitting assault rifle on this list. I'm not really a big fan, but I might use it more in the future, so I'll put it in the B tier. CZ805. I don't use the CZ805 that much either. It's pretty subpar. It's kind of like the AK-12. It's just, eh. F2K. The F2K is pretty much, I use it more than the AEK because I don't like the AEK's high recoil, and I like the F2K's better hip fire, so that's why I use it more often. So I'd put it in S tier along with the Ace 23. The FAMAS, I mean, I remember the FAMAS used to be pretty broken in the game, but it's got a really slow reload, it's got a small magazine, it's got a lot of recoil. But the upside is it's an absolute shredder. It's probably has the highest DPS of the rifles here. Maybe the Bulldog has a higher DPS, but I'm not entirely sure. I would probably put it in B tier with the Bulldog. L85A2. I like the L85A2. It's a great mid-range bullpup AR. Kind of like the 416 or the AUG. I would put it in A tier for sure. M16A4. So your playstyle and how accurate you are heavily depends on how much you like the M16. If you master the burst impulse and also know how to get headshots, the M16 is pretty good. But if you're just not hitting headshots, you'll just end up getting a lot of assists. So I'll put it in B tier. It's got good stats, but it just depends on the day, really, or the type of player that you are, whether you'll excel with the M16 or not. M416. This is my favorite assault rifle personally in the rifles. It's just incredibly well all around. I have the most kills by far with this gun compared to any other gun in the game. I think it's the best all around assault rifle by far. Even better than the Ace 23 because I like its recoil impulse more, but that's just personal preference. So I want to put it in God tier with the AEK. QBZ 97-1. I mean, it's an okay flat shooter. It's at mid to longer ranges, but you're just not going to do well in closer ranges compared to these other assault rifles. It's pretty bad as well. I'll put it in D tier probably. Same with the SAR 21. It's a good long range rifle, kind of like the QZ, but if you're playing at longer ranges, it's better to just use a DMR To be honest, DMRs would absolutely smoke these longer range assault rifles any day of the week. So also D tier. Scar H. Scar H, another heavy hitter, 308. I prefer it over the Bulldog due to its lightning quick reload and its better recoil impulse. If you get headshots and you're good with not running out of ammo in your magazines and timing your reloads right, it's a very good weapon to use. It's probably, in my opinion, the most fun AR to use. I would probably put it in S tier. So that's my tier list for the assault rifles. Um, I really don't think there's any assault rifles just that bad to put in E tier because it's probably the best gun class in the game to use, personally. So that's where I'm going to leave it at.